This lesson is about using the change of base formula with logarithms. So sometimes we're asked to find an approximate value for a logarithm. We can't evaluate it by hand, and we've talked about how to use our calculator, but we haven't talked about how to use our calculator to determine the log of a different base. And so that's when you need this change of base formula. And it's actually a very, very simple formula. It works with log or with natural log, it doesn't matter. So if I wanted to find log base 3 of 14, I would rewrite that as the log, and you can use any base that you want. In general, we use log base 10 because then we can use our calculator to find the solution. So I would do log base 3 of 14, log base 10 of 14 over log base 10 of 3. So notice I've taken this value and put it on the top and the base and put it on the bottom. And as long as you're using the same base, then you can do that whenever you want. Now, of course, I can use my calculator to estimate log of 14 and use my calculator to estimate log of 3. A little trick for you here, because a lot of people struggle with the rounding. If you're going to do this, I suggest doing it all in your calculator, finding the log of 14, dividing it by the log of 3, and then writing your solution. What I find students are doing is they're finding the log of 14 and they're rounding it off to say 2 or 3 places, and then the log of 3 and rounding it off. And then now you've got 2 very rounded answers that you're trying to find another rounded answer for. So I would just do the whole value in your calculator. I came up with 2.40217. So if I'm rounding to the nearest 10,000th, that's 10th, 100th, 1000th, 10,000th, that would give me 2.4022. Use those squiggly equals to denote that we have rounded that solution. Even this solution was rounded. I rounded it to one further place. So what I find students are doing quite often is taking the log of 14 and rounding that to the 10,000 and log of 3 and rounding that to the 10,000. And then when you divide those two values, I end up with 2.9681 rounded to the nearest 10,000th, and notice how different those values are. So that's why you don't want to round. Whenever you hear me say don't round in the intermediate step, that's what I mean, is don't round till you get to the end. Now, if I didn't know how to plug it into my calculator, then I would take this value out several more places. So I would maybe go out 7 or 8 places, same thing in the denominator, and then divide, and then end up with a value that would work. Okay, so don't just take a rounded value and then find a rounded value from that. Here are 2 for you to try on your own, so try them both using your calculator, then press play to check your work. Again, utilizing my calculator, I found log of 22 divided by the log of 6, and to the nearest 10,000, that would be 1.7251. And for log of 0.3 divided by log of 5, I ended up with negative 0.7481. Make sure that you're rounding correctly on that last value.